much fun we had.
Good night, Andy.
Hi, I'm Chucky. Wanna play?
Yeah, no thanks, Chucky. I don't think I want to be your friend till the end. Is anyone else completely terrified by this doll? Or is it just me? I can't be the only one. And no, I'm not talking about the sequels. Those really got weird, didn't they? The Chucky franchise started in 1988, and Child's Play is one of the most famous horror franchises like ever. I mean, everyone knows who Chucky is, unfortunately. This idea of an evil possessed doll running around and killing people is a pretty creepy concept. And since its original release, it has become a cult classic. So just when we thought we would never see our friend Chucky again, they released a reboot of the original a little while ago, and they're coming out with the Child's Play TV series that's set to air in 2020. I'm not sure if I'm brave enough to watch it. Well, how's it going, you guys? I'm your host for this one, Landon Do Not Sing, and welcome back to another Most Amazing Top 10 video. Before we get started, I want to know, what is your favorite toy when you were a kid? Mine, it has to be a Tonka truck, or maybe my Game Boy Color. I mean, yeah, those were the days. Alright, let's get right into this one. This is the top 10 scary Child's Play theories. Let's kick things off just like that in at number 10 with the origin of Chucky's name. I know that Chucky just looks like a small, deranged children's toy, but he is definitely a classic horror movie villain who has stood the test of time. And this probably has a lot to do with his name as well. The original 1988 Child's Play film, a good guy's doll was possessed by a serial killer named Charles Lee Ray. He was able to insert his spirit into the doll with some voodoo stuff. Now, let's break down his name. It can be arranged that Chucky's full name is a combination of all three infamous killers. First we have Charles, who's of course a reference to Charles Manson, the leader of a cult who committed a series of brutal murders. Then we have Lee, who is named after Lee Harvey Oswald, you know, the man who murdered John F. Kennedy. And last but not least is James, who is an obvious reference to James Earl Ray, who is responsible for assassinating Martin Luther King Jr. Next up, number 9, we have good guy versus a buddy rebranding. In the original movie, Chucky was a good guy doll created by Play Pals Toy Factory. Obviously, Play Pals was under a lot of scrutiny when it was revealed that their best-selling doll was responsible for several murders. So naturally, their reputation went down the drain, and it is believed that Play Pals went bankrupt and had to dispose of all of their good guy dolls. Well, according to this fan theory, the owner wasn't ready to let go of the good guy dolls just yet. He should have though. He kept one doll and worked on it for decades, adding new technology as it came out. And this is when he pitched his newly improved doll to Carlson Corporation, who rebranded the original Good Guy's doll and called him Buddy. That's why the two dolls look similar to each other, but not identical. But history repeats itself, but apparently we weren't able to learn from our mistakes because now the Buddy doll is probably more of a threat than the original Chucky ever was. Chucky is based on Robert the Doll, and this scary theory brings us to number 8. I think that most of us would agree that Robert the Doll is pretty terrifying. I mean, just take a look at him. Apparently he is responsible for car accidents, broken bones, job loss, divorce, and a bunch of other misfortunes. That's why he is being housed in a container in a museum, and you aren't even allowed to take a picture of him. Not that you would ever want to. I don't even know why he was on display. Maybe because no one wants to touch him and throw him in a fire because they're scared of getting cursed or worse. It is believed that Robert the Doll is possessed with a curse after a disgruntled housekeeper performed a voodoo on him. That's why a lot of people theorize that Chucky was based off of this doll. But apparently the writer Tom Holland said that he never heard of a Robert when he wrote Child's Play. If that's true, then there's a lot of crazy coincidences. Chucky of the Corn brings us to number 7. If you guys are into horror movies, then you probably heard of the classic Children of the Corn. John Franklin is probably best known for his role as the scary child preacher Isaac in the film, but a lot of horror fans don't realize that he also plays a pretty crucial role in Child's Play as well. He actually played Chucky when he was shown running or walking. So there's many people believe that Isaac from Children of the Corn is just dressed up as the Chucky doll and he is on a murdering rampage. It's actually not that far-fetched when you think about it. I mean, Isaac was batshit crazy in Children of the Corn, and I wouldn't put it past him. And now number 6, Toy Story and Chucky are in the same universe. Alright, before you come after me on this one, I realize that Toy Story is a cartoon and Chucky is in real life, but let's hear this theory out. Both of the main characters in this movie are called Andy. Both movies involve toys that are alive, and they just all want to be Andy's best friend till the end. Well, let's take a look at some of these movie posters. As you can see, we have Chucky murdering a bunch of characters from Toy Story. So this kind of suggests that maybe Andy's mom bought him a buddy doll, and Chucky doesn't want any of these toys to get attention from Andy. But I would like to think that Woody and Buzz can kick Chucky's. Maybe Andy should invite Sid over for a play date and give Chucky to him, see what he does with that. Now that would be one good horror movie. Andy's mom was actually schizophrenic, and this brings us to number 5. People are theorizing that in the original movie, when Andy's dad died, something snapped in Karen's mind. She was never the same after that. It's believed that Karen actually stole Chucky from her because she thought that she was talking to her. She felt some sort of connection to this doll, and she told Andy that the doll was alive. Andy was only 6 years old, so he was gullible and naive, and he actually believed her. But she started to become paranoid as soon as her schizophrenia progressed. She began killing people, but she believed that Chucky did it. So fast forward to the end of the original Child's Play, Chucky is shot through the heart and he is finally dead. Or, I mean, is he? But according to this dark theory, once the ambulance and police arrive, they know that their stories aren't making sense. There's no way that a killer doll actually exists. So they take Karen to a psychiatric hospital to be evaluated, and they charged her with murder. While she serves time in prison, Andy is sent to a foster family. Jumping over number 4, the superintendent of the apartment building was Charles Lee Ray's grandson. So if you guys have seen the new Child's Play, you'll know exactly what I'm talking about. For those of you guys who haven't seen it, don't worry, I won't spoil anything. I'll try not to, except everyone dies at the end. Okay, I'm just kidding. That's what happened in Lost. Okay, getting back to this one, the superintendent is this creepy guy in an apartment building that has cameras in everyone's units. His workstation is the basement, and that's where he likes to watch people. He finds a Chucky doll in the garbage, and he decides to open him up and reprogram him so that he can sell him on eBay. But some fans are speculating that this creepy guy is actually the grandson of Charles Lee Ray, and he has a strange affinity to the Chucky doll. He seems to know way too much about the mechanics of the doll, and he almost seems obsessed with it. Maybe he's just trying to find the original doll so that he can resurrect his grandpa. Chucky isn't actually possessed, and this scary theory brings us to number 3. In the original 1988 film, fans are saying that Chucky is just a manifestation of Andy's rage. I mean, yeah, that's right. Chucky was never possessed. He never learned to grab a knife. He never actually murdered anyone. It was actually Andy this whole time. Apparently, Andy is a really creepy doll with some serious anger issues. I mean, think about it. His father left him when he was very young. He doesn't have any friends. His mom is struggling to get by, and he is being bullied. So when he gets Chucky, he develops a really unhealthy relationship with him. So what if I told you guys that this whole time Andy was the serial killer and not Chucky? We're watching the movie through Andy's mind because to him, the doll is murdering people, but in reality, it's actually Andy with blood on his hands. Chucky will control an army, and this fun fact brings us to number 2. This theory could potentially be applied to the original series and the reboot. Well, that's because the ending of Child's Play 2, Chucky's heart was destroyed, so we all thought that Chucky was gone for good. But if you look closely, you can see that his plastic body was melted down and mixed with hundreds of new good guy dolls. So Chucky's evil personality could have potentially been inserted into hundreds or thousands of dolls who are just waiting to sink a knife into a human. And then if we look at the end of the reboot, we can see that Chucky was able to easily control the other buddy dolls and other Castle products because they're all on the same Castle network. That's pretty terrifying when you think about it. I think this reboot hits a little too close to home, because what if our smart products go rogue and then start killing us off? Finally, number 1, Andy was actually evil. Alright, let's think about this for a minute. In the reboot, Chucky is a smart robot with artificial intelligence, but he is only able to do things after he has learned from a human. So when Chucky is in the hands of Andy, that's when he started to become evil, and then he goes on this like murdering rampage. So maybe Andy showed him a thing or two about how to murder people, but Andy didn't want to get his hands dirty, so he got Chucky to do it for him. And do you guys remember when Andy found the head in his bedroom? He wasn't even really fazed by it. Literally wrapped it up and wanted to throw it down the garbage chute. I mean, that sounds like a serial killer to me. It sounds like serial killer tendencies. I really think Andy should go see a shrink about his anger issues. Well, there you guys have it. You made it to the end of this video. I just want to say thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you guys all in the next most amazing top 10 video.